Hey everyone, lead trainer with StocksToTrade, Tim Bohen. Today we're going to talk about a great handy feature in StocksToTrade that I actually helped design, and it's what's called the Basics box, which I kind of feel bad for the Basics box because it's not the best name, but it really is like really pertinent information. Like we should probably rename it, actually, as I think about this, like the Essentials box, because it really is that, because it is basic information. But every single piece of this box I look at on every single stock, like every single one. And just gonna walk you through it. And it's really handy stuff, really simple stuff. I've got a zoomed in version here, but just if you know, when you launch StocksToTrade, you'll see in the lower left is the exact same box. Like it's kind of neat. Right now you can see, just flashed on my Basics box, that this stock MYTE just broke resistance, broke over that resistance level that it's been trying to break. All of those real-time events, VWAP crosses, red to greens, all of those come through on the Basics box. Now you can do it visually, but it's a very handy thing to have that information flapping. Whoa, it's back at VWAP. Whoa, it's red on the day. Hey, it's back green on the day. So let me go back to, that's where it lies on the chart screen, but let me jump back to the full version and just walk you through it. So right off the bat, we have the high of the day and the low of the day. We love to, buy stocks that break the high of the day. We love to short stocks that break the low of the day. Or another great strategy when you're looking for those dip buys is stocks that have hit a low of the day but have started to grind back off of it. And what's great about that, you can quickly see it in the Basics box. You know the low of the day, because if you're trading panic dip buys, you know the low of the day is the risk, okay? So you're looking for that stock to yank, base a little bit, perk off the base, and then your stop loss is a new low of the day, which gives you a small risk and a really predictable pattern. I mean, listen, when you catch these stocks that bounce, they can be great trades and very predictable. Next, working through, we can see where the stock opened the day. In this instance, $5.72. So that will become the basically market open print. So that's the point where the stock opened at 9:30 Eastern. We can also see that relative to the previous day's close, which was $4.31, which is also our green to red, red to green line. Remember, when we talk about that line, that's based on the 4 p.m. previous day close. So in this instance, that was $4.31 where it closed at 4 p.m. the previous day, okay? Next, we can see the daily volume. Very important for another reason I'm going to come back to. Next, 52-week high. We can see that this thing set a new 52-week high. So when you're looking for those breakout buys, those swing trades, etc., we love to see them printing new 52-week highs represented there. Next is a feature that I specifically asked to be added, and that is the 60-day average volume. Now, let me explain why. Many of you know we use 3 time frames. I talk about those in other videos. One of the primary time frames we use is the 2-month, 15-minute chart. 2-month time frame, 15-minute candles. The reason we like that gives us a recent snapshot of the stock and then also matches up with our average volume. So I want to see the volume recently. I don't care if this thing traded high volume a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, recent history. And then what you'll notice with MYTE is we have what we look for when we talk about unusual volume. You'll see up until today, the average volume for MYTE over the entire day was 32,000 shares a day, okay? The entire day, 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern, pre-market, market day, after hours, 32,000 shares the whole day. It traded 13 million today, okay? And listen, in pre-market it was trading millions of shares. This is the whole day. You can see it's after the market closed now, but think about that. Like right off the bat, even in pre-market, you'd be like, whoa, we got something here. And you know when it comes to day trading, one of the first things we look for is unusual volume. Next, market cap, very handy to see because we love to day trade small market cap stocks. Lower the market cap, the better. And then super important, maybe, I don't know, it's probably a tie between the 60-day average volume and the float. but I'll give the nod to float, okay? When it comes to the one must-have feature of the basics box, it's the float. I won't get into the discussion of float a ton in this video, but you know that's the freely tradable shares that are on the open market. And when we have a stock that is either trading the float or multiples of float, we want to pay attention. And we also know that when it comes to day trading, low float, low float, low float, low float, low float, low float, okay? I could probably repeat that for an hour. If you look back over historically, literally for decades, if you went back and looked at the data, the biggest mover of the day was always going to be a low float stock, other than like a few buyouts here and there, okay? Day in, day out, low float stocks. NYTE, only 17 million shares in the float. Puny float when you think of like an Apple that has like 6 billion shares in the float. Next is the shares outstanding. So what you can see is the total shares versus the float, okay? These are shares that are locked up, compensation plans, long-term holds, etc. So you can see the float relative to the outstanding shares. Then something that we normally only use in swing trading, but we can see the price to earnings, okay? When we're day trading, we don't look at that a ton, along with earnings per share, but I swing trade and day trade. I recommend everybody do both. So really when it comes to the price to earnings and earnings per share, we're only looking at that on those longer term holds, swing trades that we hold for days or weeks. When it comes to day trading, pretty much all of them are gonna have poor multiples and poor earnings. I mean, it's just the nature of speculative stocks. But it's handy to have when you're thinking about holding a stock overnight. You can quickly see what the price to earnings are, as well as the earnings per share, and decide if it's worth the risk, if they're a non-profitable company or they're barely getting by. With swing trades, we want to focus on higher quality companies that have earnings because it lowers the risk of dilution. So that's the basics box, guys. And again, I may reach out to the development team and have them rename it Essentials. So if you get StocksToTrade, it's called Essentials, you were there first. It is basic information, but I literally, every single stock, every single day, I scan that basics box, particularly looking for highs and lows, the float, the volume, the 60-day average, as well as float rotation. So if you want this in your arsenal, check out StocksToTrade. We'll put a link below.